Okay, you guys, I'm just going to get started and people can hop on as they want to. But I wanted to do a call tonight because I know there are so many of you guys pushing for promotions. And what better than to talk with somebody who I saw work extremely, extremely hard last month. And I always tell everybody, especially on my team and that I talk to on a daily basis, I always tell people, I'm like, you guys, when it comes to this time in this season in our business, you have to claim it. Like there's no wishy-washy, there's no hoping, there's no wishing for it. And so whenever anybody comes to me, I like legit know just by how they're talking about it if it's going to go down. And so it was so funny to me because Lindsay, who's one of our newest presidential diamonds, she told me like, this is the month I'm doing it. I'm like, oh, you chose to pick the shortest month that there was. And she's like, yes, I'm going to do it. I can't handle waiting. I'm going to do it. So I knew she claimed it and she had her game plan in mind. And so I'm just going to ask her a bunch of questions just to kind of tell you how her thought process worked and everything that she did throughout the month to make it happen. Because she could have easily looked at where she was and thought, oh my gosh, I need this much in volume, or I'm going to try to sign this. And instead of doing that, she looked at how close she was and she worked hard every single day to get there. And so I told her already, I said, I'm going to brag a little bit about her just because she'll sell herself short. But she was one of my little skeptics that joined, and she can kind of tell you about her little experiment that she did to try to prove me wrong about the wraps. But, she wasn't somebody that ran with the business right away. And what she did every single month, you guys, was that auto ship that so many people are so leery about, or whatever it is that may be. She legit for a year straight sold her auto ship, and she thought she was winning because she was up $30 every single month. So I always love to share that just for the fact that I always say, if you're happy with your $30 check, you're going to be happy with a $300 check, and you're going to be happy with a $3,000 check, and so on. So I just loved her perspective on it. And you know what? She may not have started out fast, but she just claimed a huge bonus, and she's claimed bonuses every single year once she put her game face on and started working her business and realized how many lives she could touch. So Lindsay, are you on here? I can't see you.
I'm on here.
Oh, there she is. Okay. So Lindsay, just kind of tell us, you can kind of tell us what your thought process was. But I knew, like you said, you came into this and you were claiming that you were going to hit presidential, and you decided to go with the shortest month possible to give me some ulcers. But what was your thought process going into the month and a game plan that you started out with?
Coming back from conference, that's what did it for me. Those bonuses are totally what motivate me. And I think I called you and I was like, I'm getting 100 customers this month. And I know Sarah thought I was crazy, but for some reason, 100, that was the number. I looked at the volume that I needed, and I just set my goal to double what I really needed and went after it. And I did not, I guess it was just, I was really persistent and set that goal extremely, extremely high. I mean, I've never signed 47 customers in a year, and I did it in 20 days. So anyone can do that.
And you didn't wait till the end of the month. We got back and you pretty much got at it right away.
Yeah, I started my messaging in the airport, and it started on February 8th, and all the way till the 28th, I was messaging like crazy.
So kind of tell us, like, did you let your team know that you were going for this bonus, or how did you break it down to them so that you guys were all working together?
I started, so I don't know, I kind of let the team know as I was doing it myself. I let the entire world know. I posted on Facebook, look, like, this is a bonus of a lifetime for me. I've never done that. I've never even told people the bonus that I had at my fingertips until this last month. And I ran with that. Like, it came straight from my heart. I had to tell the truth. I was going for a shot of a lifetime, which it was. As a dental hygienist, I love my job, but there's no chance that any dentist on this planet is going to say, hey, look, if you work really hard this month, you can earn $100,000 bonus. That is not practical. So, I started running with it. I posted on Facebook what I was going for. I told family, friends, everybody that I talked to. And people were willing to help once I did that.
And so when you talked to your team, how did you break it down? Did you give each person their goal? And even for those maybe that weren't actively building with you, I know you told me like you messaged them and you said, hey, I'm going to help you. I really want to help you hit this Ruby bonus. Do you think that you could even sign or try to work on a couple loyal customers? You kind of gave each person a little bit of a challenge because you were stepping out of your comfort zone and kind of hoping that they would follow and match you in that.
Totally. I gave them ideas for, messages to send out and what was working for me. I gave them more of not a number because I set my number to 100 LCs, but I gave them more like, can you go out and sell, four it works systems, and I'm going to help you get to your Ruby, or I'm going to help you get to your Emerald. Just, go sell 4 it work systems. That's a good BV amount. And when I put it in that context, like it was more achievable, or, they looked at it like it was more attainable.
Instead of them looking at their emerald map, looking how far.
Right, exactly.
And so along the way, you guys, one thing that I absolutely just loved watching her do is every day, and it wasn't because I was asking, but she did it, I feel like more so to hold herself accountable. But every single day, you guys, she would message me as she signed an LC. Okay, we've been in this for a long time. It's not that. And every time I'm like fist pumping over here because I knew each LC meant like, well, first I'm like, whoa, where did she come from? And then second of all, I'm thinking like, she's doing this. Like, I know she's doing it. And I did. I love that you claimed it to the world. You guys, there's something about being held accountable. And when you have that many people cheering you on, that you will not fall short. I just want you to know that. The other thing that I really loved is not once did Lindsay tell me about the no's she was getting or people that flat out shot it down. Like, never once did I hear a single word from her about that. So just kind of tell us what your day-to-day looked like, because you definitely put a lot of hours in last month. She's at my house, you guys, and I didn't get to see her very often. But I knew what she was working for. So kind of give us an example what your day-to-day started off and how you kind of broke it up. You gave yourself little breaks here and there, but kind of just tell them exactly how many messages that you were sending out, how many times, even for people that were saying, yes, I'm going to order this or that, how many times you actually had to follow up with them to get them in the system?
Well, I have the little here. My hundreds list, I don't know, it was 284 people that I messaged that I actually wrote their first and last name down. It was much more than that, but my hundreds list didn't start out with just going through Facebook and writing down the names that I was going to message. I wrote down the names that I did message. And I didn't go to the next one until that one was completed. And I kept doing that. And of course I got no's, but I didn't focus on those. I didn't call Sarah and whine about how many people said no to me or didn't respond to me. I just went to the next message. And I guess even the people that had said yes, like the follow-ups are extremely important. I had to follow up about 3 or 4 times per person that told me, oh yes, of course I want to help you with the goal. Yeah, I'll order. Tell me what to do. I had to follow up with those people, even the yeses, 3 or 4 times after that. And it's just that I realized that it's not because they're meaning not to order. It's just life happens, you guys. And, it's an urgency for me, like here and right now, but this is not an urgency for people. Like, people don't need the product today, even though we think they do. They don't. So they toss things to the side. They forget about it. And you just need to be persistent and remind them. And that kind of went in with my posts, my Facebook posts, the entire month. If you look back at them, I was constantly thanking the people that were ordering from me, and I put my website down every single time. And that was just a subtle reminder to the people that haven't ordered yet or hadn't ordered. Like, oh, hey, she's doing a minute yoga pose for this person that just ordered. I still need to order. I told her I would. It was just a constant reminder to them without me reaching out again, for the 5th or 6th time.
And then one thing that I loved, you guys, is not the one thing that I really loved is sometimes when I was getting messages from her, you were even talking to customers that some of these first customers that you had signed, because you knew where they were in your map. You knew that volume was needed there. So it wasn't even that you were always looking for a new body, but you started reaching out. You were talking about some of the new products that had been introduced since the last time you saw them order. And you were talking about the cleanse, or, you knew that summertime was coming up, or trips, or spring break, or whatever it was, you guys. I mean, spring break is here, so that is a good one to be using right now. But even now, like, that 90-day challenge is going to bring people into May, which is awesome. So you were even getting volume and still using the resources, not thinking like, oh, that was an LC that shut her auto ship off, but I'm going to reach out and see if she's interested in ordering, or maybe she needs to stock up on some product and I can help facilitate that. So just kind of tell them some of the messages that you sent some of those people. If people are looking at their map and they're like, oh, I do have some customers that absolutely loved it, but yes, their auto ship is off.
Yeah, for those people, I totally reached out to, all of those people, because those were kind of like the easiest ones to help with volume, I guess, at the time. And of course, they wanted our new cleanse. It's already on back order, so that says a lot for that. But I just seriously spoke straight from my heart, and I said, I need your help. And that was the first time I've ever even done that. It's extremely hard for me. I don't like asking for help, but at this point, like, you can't do this by yourself. So I gave them a personal message. I know these people. These were not people. This was not my cold network that I was reaching out to. This was close family and friends, and people that had been my LC, or, I don't know. I sent that message, and it worked for me.
And one thing that I thought was awesome, and for those of you that maybe followed her, I got messages about you all month long, Lindsay, and they're like, Lindsay's so, inspiring to me. She's so motivating. Like, you were so fun to watch. Go for this. And I knew people were just watching from the sidelines, which I absolutely love. And you guys should be watching. Like, that's awesome. I'm even watching and learning stuff from her as well. But, I thought it was really awesome that you literally thanked every single person. And not once were you like, oh, this is only 23 BV when somebody ordered a fat biter. One order, she got like a toner. Out of all the products, like, somebody decides to choose toner, which is just funny to me, because I'm like, that's like, I love toner, but it wouldn't be like my first option. But you thanked every single person. And what started coming out of that when you started thanking people, like, kind of say exactly, like, you were not only just getting new customers, but then, people were sharing, and you had other people kind of even working for you.
Right. I had so many people that would reach out to me. Some of the cold network people I just know from the yoga community, or random hygienists that had been following me, they were reaching out to me asking, how can I help you? Just because they saw the amount of people I was thanking, and they knew exactly what I was going for, and they didn't want me to miss it. I just tried to be as creative as possible to catch attention on Facebook, and I used my personality and asked for their help. But yes, I did thank every single person, and the more I thanked, the more that wanted to help.
Mm-hmm. And what did you do for, like, those people that were sharing your post and were like, hey, I have somebody I'm going to refer to you, or whatever, that they were doing that? You had random people that you didn't even know that were, like, sharing your post.
Yeah,
right?
they were sharing my posts. At least 10 different people that I didn't know were sharing my post. And I said, thank you so much. Like, every referral, every single order. This was in big bold letters, because it was true. Every single order, even that toner, not a huge BV, but that mattered. That person stepped up and helped me out at the time that I needed it. And it's not going to be forgotten. I started writing their initials on my mirror, and they're still there. That's why my makeup looks like this. But people just, I don't know, they appreciate recognition, and no matter how small that order was, like, I'll remember their initials for a long time.
And how many times did you commit to posting every single day?
Oh, I don't even know how many times I posted, but almost every single order I got, I was, or every 3-4 orders, it was back to another yoga pose, or back to, another mirror drawing, just to hold people's attention. And it kind of became a game for me and for the people that were watching, from the messages I got. And that kept it fun for me as well, because seriously, I probably sat on my couch the entire week. I luckily had a week off from dental, but I sat on my couch almost in the same spot the entire week on my computer, reaching out to people like I've never reached out. And the only break I took was on that yoga mat. So.
And I saw lots of pictures of your team stopping by.
Mm-hmm.
And I know just even being around you, you were even reaching out to people and you said, for people maybe that are brand new and just starting, or maybe some people that were just starting to kind of get out of their comfort zone and really start working their business with you because they got inspired by what you were doing. You helped them with wording, and you helped them, like if somebody asked them, hey, this is my goal, what were you doing to kind of help facilitate and help other people, like kind of show them like, hey, you can do this. Like I have never signed this many LCs, and maybe you've never signed an LC before, but let's just work on this together. And you actually can sign some LCs because you had a lot of people working on your team that, maybe hadn't totally given it their all yet. And now you have a lot more people, even after what you just did last month, that are ready to come out with big guns.
Right. Well, I even got my brother to sign, I think, at least 6 LCs, which has never happened. I don't know if he's on here tonight, but that's just, anybody can do this if they set their mind to it. And I know that sounds cheesy, but I literally did it. And I was that DT that thought I could never sign 4 LCs in 1 month. And I've never signed that amount ever. And I don't know if I'll ever do it again, but every single person can do that if you find your message. And I talked to my team was coming to me asking me like what to message, and I would just help them with wording and encourage them. And they knew that I had never done this before, signing that many. And I think that just boosted their confidence to do the same thing.
Right. So, and that's something, you guys, that there's a lot of times where it's really hard to step out of your comfort zone. I've done a lot of that myself, but I just want you to know, by you taking that step and by her doing that, her team followed. Her team came out of their comfort zone just as much as she did that month. And so you kind of have to reevaluate yourself sometimes and be like, am I uncomfortable? Am I just sticking to what's been comfortable thus far? And if you're not getting the results that you want, you have to try to do something different. So here, Lindsay may have not signed, customers, or maybe even 4 customers in a month, but she knew that's exactly what she needed to promote. So she was going to do it. And she did stuff that she's never done before. And so if we were going to give, and I just know how people are because people ask and all that kind of stuff. So if we give people like numbers of how many hours maybe you were putting in each day to bring in 50 loyal customers, and to help facilitate even more loyal customers throughout your whole entire team, like what would you say your day looks like? I know you gave yourself some breaks just for some sanity, but like
I gave myself some breaks, but it was constant. And I still showered. I woke up, I brushed my teeth for the 2 minutes, showered, and I was on that computer until, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 in the morning at times. I would take an hour and a half break for yoga just to get out of the zone for a little bit and give myself a break. But it was constant. My parents came here a week early. They were here for 2 weeks. I gave up time with them. I said, look, like they understood what I was going for and they were helping me out. But I said, I need to be glued to this computer. I can't, I turned down going to play golf with them at a great golf course that I would, love to play. But I gave up things and time with them for what I was going for. And I did not take a break, really.
And you guys, that's something, even with my husband, like we are busy. And of course there's gonna be times where you kind of feel guilty or you're like, yes, this is not necessarily how it's gonna always be. But I'm going to tell you that if you kind of call it out and you claim it and your significant others, or you kind of make a game plan, like I always made a game plan with Kevin. I'm like, okay, like when we were going for ambassador, I just said like, this is the month, like we are doing this. And like, I am not in charge of dinners, and that might be funny or whatever. I was dead serious. Like, and so even in the first week, if it came to me and he's like, hey, what's for dinner? I'm like, no, like I was serious. Like I remember when I said I'm not in charge of dinner, and you kind of, if you ask for even just that sort of help and you're serious, and then all of a sudden it happens that you actually get that bonus or whatever it may be, you guys, that just sets the pace. Like, what you need to do, and your husband becomes a team member with you. Like I made it a game even for my kids. Like I'm like, okay, mommy's working. Sometimes they'd sit their iPad next to me. Sometimes I'd be out whatever playing and doing the same exact thing. But it's like, you have to make sacrifices to get something that you have never had before.
True.
because this does take time. And I think one of the most important things, that Lindsay did is she started right away in the beginning of the month. And she literally, there was not a single day that she took off in between there. And I just finally was like, okay, so seriously, like, when are you going to go so that we can see you again? And I just, when you look back at that, Lindsay, and you did something that you pretty much thought you would have never been capable of doing, even though I knew you were capable of doing it, do you regret any sacrifice that you made for that month, or working hard every single day, or even when you felt like, oh my God, I can't send another message? I mean, you took 20 minutes away and you were already wanting to come back to start messaging.
Right. No, I don't regret a single thing of it. And actually, the day I left your house after I, earned that bonus, I was looking at my mirror and I'm like, I'm gonna miss writing, like 48 up there, 49. I'm like, maybe I should keep this going, but I don't know. I don't regret a single thing, because it's worth it. It's gonna give me more time in the long run. It's gonna give me, more opportunities. Not very many people would take their week vacation and sit on their couch and literally message the world. I did that, and it's worth it. I don't know.
And how many more people, by taking the guts to actually message people that maybe you're like, oh, they probably had, had some opinions about this prior, but how many more people do you feel like you have watching your business this month in your journey compared to before February started?
Oh, a lot more.
A lot. Yeah. And and so that's what's even better about that, you guys, is like her confidence shined. So, I mean, they were seeing that. They saw her determination. Now her team also saw her determination. And even this month, you told me, I know a lot of us, when you go for some of these bonuses and you put all that time in, you're like, oh, I'm going to take a break. And the crazy thing is, you guys, is you don't even feel like that. Like, you sleep one night and you finally get, your first night's rest.
No,
and then all of a sudden you're like waking up early and you're like, I mean, it's, what can you say? What's the feeling that you get after you achieve something like that you set your mind to?
Well, to be honest, I felt like I was hit by a bus, but I was happy to not be eating dry cereal. And I made fun of Sarah all the time. She's like, I forgot to eat lunch today. I'm like, how can you forget to eat lunch? I love lunch. That is my favorite meal. I can't miss it. And a lot of those days, like, it came around to like 3:30, and I wasn't feeling well. I'm like, of course I'm not feeling well. I haven't eaten today. And I totally forgot to eat lunch. I'm like, I get it now. I get what this girl is doing. Like, but I don't know. I felt awesome. I felt like I accomplished something. I felt like I set my goal to where it needed to be for me to get there. And yeah, I don't want to take a break. I'm not going to, sit on my couch for 20 straight days. But it gets addicting, because, I know what it feels like to look at the steps to success and be like, I don't know how these people sign for LCs in a month. And I just feel like I can inspire so many other people to get where I got, just because I know what that feels like. And it is doable. And I was told that many, many times. I went to conferences. I went to every single event. I hung out at Sarah's house just to get the verbiage down. And anybody can do that. If I did that, anybody can do that.
And I think, like, after you guys hit your goal that is in your mind, there's something just crazy about that like, it's funny because you last there for a little bit. So I always laughed at Lindsay, because when she goes double diamond, she's like, hey, I'm like totally gonna sit here. I love a double diamond paycheck. This is just amazing. Like, I don't even need to work and promote on anything else. And then, like, secretively, she kept her pace and would slowly. And then the next year she was ready to promote again. And then I'd hear the same thing. She's like, I'm gonna be here forever. I'm gonna be here forever. Okay. Well, now she's a presidential, so she obviously didn't sit at executive forever, which was her original goal of $300 a month. And so there's something about those promotions that, when I did those, I'm like, you know what? Like, yes, it was awesome for me, but what I almost loved even more, you guys, was showing my team, like, you guys, I had doubts too. I didn't think that I could do this. I maybe had a month where I didn't get my steps to success done, or maybe I fell short on a DT, or maybe I had a good month signing DTs, but I couldn't get a freaking LC to save my life. Like, we all have that, and we still have gotten to where, like, we thought was absolutely unimaginable. So on top of that, like, when you do it, half the time I'm like, I feel like my driving force was the people on my team, because I just wanted to show people like, yeah, I had my doubts too, but this is where we're at, you know? And then the confidence that I think comes with it is incredible. I mean, even for yourself, but even your team. And so Lindsay said her next goal was that she was going to she's like, okay, my only goal now for the rest of the year is to get an international team. And then she went big, and she's always been trying to get this huge yoga studio, because we are around a lot of yogis and they love natural products and all this stuff. And a lot of people probably see them extremely intimidating, because they are going to be the people that ask a lot of questions. And she's like, so that's my goal for the rest of the year. Well, Lindsay, who did you sign up 2 days after you went presidential?
I did sign modern yoga, and they have 2,000 members.
Yes. So she got into the yoga community like she wanted to, which is obviously a huge network out here. And then where are you going this weekend?
And then I'm headed to Florida, actually, because I have a DT from London, which I've never met. I've only, we miss FaceTime and Skype because of time changes. I've only messaged her, and she's going to be doing a teacher training. I don't even know how many yogis will be there, but I'm flying there to go meet her. I have another week off from dental, and I'm going to go help this girl blow up London.
So you guys, the thing that I just love about this is like, sometimes the paycheck is amazing and that's great. And so are the bonuses. Like if there's going to be a time for you to sprint, like this is your time to sprint. But it's still like that promotion catapults so many other positivities in your business that it's like, your growth is not just going to stop there. That's what's so insane about it. And that's why when I push people, I'm like, people don't even know half the time what I'm promoting for or where they're at in my promotion. And, half of them aren't even needed for my stuff, but I'm like, I want it for my team members because I know what it's going to catapult into. It doesn't matter if you're going for executive. It doesn't matter if you're going for Ruby. It doesn't matter if you guys have lost rank and came back. I mean, I did. And so, you literally can do it, but you just have to claim it. Like, I feel like that is so, so important because had Lindsay come, she had been talking about it. She knew she was full for presidential, but she just hadn't put her foot, down and did pedal to the metal. And then it's like the 1 month she decides and claims it, like it legit happens in a month. And instead of signing 4 LCs each month for the last 6 months, she decided that she should just go big or go home and sign 50 LCs in a month, which that's awesome, And so that's how people, hit double promotions and get double bonuses. So, the other thing that I really think is so important to emphasize here is that you have to have your game plan. So if you don't yet, tonight's the night to make it. And tonight's the night to reach out to your team and, shoot for whatever ranks that you want to help them get to and put them in the forefront of what you're going to be doing. And I can tell you they are going to be excited. And some people you might have to show them this month, but I'm going to tell you, if you show them what you're claiming, they will be ready to go next month. Okay. And so there may be times that not everybody's working with you. And honestly, that's the reality of this business, and that's okay. But you don't necessarily need that all the time. But if you push through that, and instead of focusing on, being frustrated, and you push through that, I'm going to say that maybe you have 5 people that aren't working. You will have 5 people next month that are going to be working with you because you just showed them. And so the other thing that was awesome is, even knowing that there was a really short month, Lindsay, you had your game plan, and then she told me that she was going to promote on the 24th of the month. I'm like, can you at least wait for auto ships to run through? But one thing that I just loved about that was you knew how crazy month end is, and you had your goals set that it was like she was so anxious to hurry up and get it because she knew it was going to be happening that I was like, but you could still have like this much more volume coming in 3 days. She's like, no, I'm not waiting for that. And you guys, seriously, that is such an awesome mindset to have. I always say, you have to bust butt, and on the 25th, that is your time to reevaluate, and you figure out what you and your team can pull out over the next 2 days, and then you make it happen. Because that way, if there's absolutely any error for something and for these bonuses that are going on, we have time to fix something, and we have time to have 8 sets of eyes on it and watching it to make sure that every single person's commission qualified. Or, and Lindsay even learned a few things in there. She's like, wait, why isn't this going through? Or why isn't this? And, we had to catch things. We had to see maybe somebody didn't have their e-suite on, even though they were working their business. And FYI, if somebody's not running their e-suite and they're going to be placing any sort of order, they cannot transfer it. So I'm just letting you know that now. So you start learning some of those things, but that's what's so important about not waiting till the last minute or showing up to work the last week. That last week is meant to close the deal and to claim and celebrate. Okay. So I think that that's super important. And I feel like if you start teaching yourself that now, as you start going and you need to get more people in a row, you guys, you're going to have them in a row. And that's why I said, I was joking in this picture. I'm like, where can I get it? But it was kind of funny because I'm like, you need your ducks in a row. You need people on the same page. The other thing that I think was really big was how important was communicating with your team on a daily basis, like sometimes even hourly.
Oh yeah, 24/7. And it killed me at the days that I actually had to go and have patients and work at the, dental office because my phone is blowing up and I literally, I had to run to the bathroom just to text these people back because every, minute mattered. And on lunch, I did not go to lunch those days. I sat and followed up with people and tried to get their answers answered as quickly as possible, and help them with messages because I knew the more that they were bringing in, the less that was ultimately on my plate.
Right. And so, I mean, how many times, I tell people this all the time. I'm like, you guys, you should be talking to your team every single day, multiple times a day. And I even said to Lindsay, I'm like, even when you're placing somebody, go and tell them, hey, I'm going to place this LC under you. This is how much BV it's at. Do you think that maybe you can match my LC? Or do you think that maybe you can find somebody because you're only, 60 BV away from hitting that 400 box, Mm-hmm. And I think just even giving people little wins, and when they do it, you guys, it may seem small to some people, but when you're just starting and somebody gives you kind of a challenge or is challenging you up kind of thing, and you do it, I'm telling you, that shows people that they actually can do this business. So even those that doubt themselves, and so that's another thing. If you aren't talking to everybody on a daily basis who's on your map when you're promoting, I'm not really it's not going to come together how it needs to come together. Mm-hmm. And, and you were even stepping up and this is why it's so important to know everybody on your map, but you were even stepping up and talking to people, if Peggy was on and she was working or she had an event going, you were still, you're like, hey, I'm on for you guys. If you have questions, please let me know. Or if you're signing people, I can help you and figure out what you need for your promotions. Isn't that right?
So many group texts and messages like crazy. I don't know when I ran out of data this last month, but it was all worth it. But yes, it was constant communication. If I wasn't talking to my team, I was talking to a new potential. I probably talked to Sarah actually probably the least amount of time ever in our lifetime, but I couldn't talk to her. She wasn't a potential. She's on my team, but not in the downline. So
right.
Yeah.
And then how important do you think that making a list, not just having this game plan that was thought out, but actually going through, writing out names, saying when they were going to, sign, and saying what they were going to be ordering, that type of thing. How important was that for you to stay on track and to not let anybody slip through the cracks?
That was extremely important. I went into I was so intentional. I numbered them. I wrote their first and last name. If I misspelled it, I rewrote it. I wrote down if they replied to me, the date they replied to me, and the dates that I did follow-up messages with them, and I would cross them off as they ordered. But I kept going through, and then I was tallying up, kind of the percentages. It was maybe 1 in 12 people would order. So I was I set my number to how many people I needed to reach out to, and I went with that, and then just started thanking them, and more came through. But I was extremely, extremely intentional, and yes, I kept very good track of that. Right.
And so when you originally claimed this goal in the beginning of February, did it scare you?
Oh yeah. LCs scared me. I like signing distributors. LCs are not my thing. To me, even as skeptic as I was when I tried that wrap, I looked at the 2 opportunities there were in front of me that Sarah laid out, and no one should be an LC in my mind. Everybody should be in this business. Why wouldn't you make money instead of just gaining perk points. I'm sorry, I like cash instead of points on a system, but these people, like a lot of people are not interested in the business, and this month kind of set that pace for me, just realizing, you know what, not everybody needs to do this business, but they will like our products. I do have confidence in our products. I use a majority of them. So that's where I guess I gained the confidence in LCs, because everybody should be using them.
And what was super funny to me is that Lindsay said, so she signed all these LCs this month or last month. And then she said, I'm just going to keep following up. Like, my goal is for them to keep using these products, or even more so, what's going to end up happening is that they fall in love with them. And you're going to probably maybe not this month, because they're still using some of their products and they still have a second shipment coming. But it's like, come April or May, you're probably going to be signing about 40 DTs and you're not going to know what to do.
Exactly.
So
that will come.
Yeah.
That's another thing I'm going to be extremely intentional about. I've made, my personality is to thank people. I made personal thank you cards. All 47 of them are going to get a handwritten thank you card from me. And I'm going to make them enjoy my customer service. That's the really cool thing about our business. Not everybody has to be the same, but they're going to appreciate what I can bring to them, and just show them, I will thank you, instead of that shelf on, at Target. They're not going to, thank you for buying my cleanser. That's not going to happen. But I'm going to continue that. And hopefully, even if I have a lot of my family, my parents' friends that help me out and ordered as LCs, but they all have kids. And a lot of them are already coming back. My daughter should do this business. Oh, my daughter's in Australia. She should do this business. Like that, the referrals are going to be huge.
Anyways, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that was one thing I really loved. Like, it wasn't just people that were in Lindsay's network that she was signing. So not only did her friends know and her family knew that she was going for this, so she was signing all sorts of ages. Like, she had, it was like anywhere from 18-year-olds all the way up to 60, 70-year-olds that were ordering product. And, that's one thing. Like, if somebody says no, you guys don't be afraid to be like, hey, well, I'm going for this. Do you think that anybody that would love to be starting a challenge? Or do you know anybody that's trying to lose weight? Or do you know anybody going on spring break? That's okay to ask, you guys. That is okay. Like, you're not trying to use that person. Like, there probably are people, and why not use great products? So be bold, ask those types of things, get uncomfortable, because that's when the magic happens. You are going to get up early. You are going to stay up late. And you know what? You're going to love it, because all the crazy people are up late. Just ask my team. I send dub smashes at 2 in the morning. It's amazing. Yeah. So Lindsay showered. I don't shower. So I don't know. I'm going to figure that one out, though. I say it's because I have kids and she doesn't. But one thing, if there was one tip or advice that you could say to people that are trying to double promote or go for these bonuses, what would kind of be your last words to say?
Get the donut cereal. That's an easy snack. No, but in all honesty, you're going to have the days that you're going to feel completely frustrated. I even had, in those 20 days, I had a day where I didn't sign any LC, and I was freaking out. I'm like, no, this is setting me behind for tomorrow. I have to sign double. And you're going to have that frustration. You're going to have awesome days, but every single day, even when I went to yoga, if you're intentional, every single day counts. And maybe it doesn't, maybe it wouldn't have happened last month, but I would have kept going. And if you, John Eric had said, but post about friendship, fun, and freedom, all of my posts are about friendship, fun, and freedom. And my life is like that too. So yeah, I might take a break and go to yoga, but I'm expanding my network at the same time, doing something that I absolutely love and that's good for me. And I'm putting myself in a position that I'm around more people that are like-minded like that. I'm going out to dinner with family and friends, and I'm tagging every single one of them in a post saying, hey, thanks for ordering and helping me out last month. That just hit probably 10,000 people on Facebook. So even on your toughest days, you can be doing something very intentional. Even if it doesn't come across in the report as personally enrolled, they might be personally enrolled in 3 months just because of the conversation you had out and about and living your life.
Right. I'm going to let people ask a few questions, you guys. If you have any questions that I haven't asked that you want to ask her, you can put them up in the chat over here. You'll see the chat down at the bottom. It's like a little bubble. So I'll just kind of watch we'll ask a few questions, and then if not, then we're good.
Okay.
I don't know if they're good. Sometimes they're shy in the beginning, I feel like. All right, this is your time to drill her. Okay, if not, you gave awesome tips. I just thought this was super good for everybody to listen to and to have, because I think there's so many times that, you know, maybe they're hearing it from their sponsor and they're like, we get it, you know. But I think it's fun to know and to hear that these promotions, you guys, they don't happen by luck, and they don't happen by hoping or wishing or things just naturally falling into place. That's just not how this business works. And I think you do have to be extremely intentional on what you're doing. And I think it's really important to claim it. So let me just see. Can you give some ideas? Okay. Can you give some ideas of verbiage to a few people who, like what kind of messages were you sending out to people when you were asking for help?
When I was asking for help?
Yeah.
Okay, here's one of them. I'll just read it. Hey, Nikki, how are you? I'm wondering if you could do me a huge favor and check out my website. We have health and wellness products from awesome skincare that even guys like, supplements, energy drinks, protein shake mix, and body wraps. I would love if you could order, love is in big bold letters, if you could order the product for the next 3 months. I'm going for a $100,000 bonus this month and need 100 customers to earn it. Would really love and appreciate your help. It's a shot in a lifetime for me.
Yeah.
That's the message I went with, and depending on the person, I may have added, you know, more personal things in the beginning of the message or ended with that, but that was the majority of the message.
Okay. I love that. And so super sweet, short, to the point, you guys. And she's not like being wishy-washy about it. She's straight out asking for help, asking to say, are you interested in ordering? Like, she's not saying, I would hope for you to order. Like, she's waiting for a yes or no response, hands down. And you know, and another thing,
yes,
I gave, oh, sorry, go ahead.
If they did say yes, I gave them, you know, word for word what they needed to do. So I said, go to likerslike.com, click shop, pick out the products that you want, make sure to enroll, you know, and I put it in quotes in big bold letters, enroll with auto shipment for a 3-month loyal customer. So I didn't really have, I had maybe 1 or 2 people that had errors, but majority of them ordered correctly.
Okay, and then the other thing that this just reminded me of it. So Lindsay, in the beginning, in the first week, she had a few people that just said no, or like legit said no. And so obviously I never even heard about those ones, but then it was super funny because, you know, so she gave herself that whole month to be working on this stuff. And that's why, like I said, I keep saying this, you guys, it's so important to be running now. Like, you cannot wait, because some of these people do take that many follow-ups that they finally get signed up in 2 weeks, even though it's like, we all know it's not that hard. Like, even when people are really busy, like, it legit takes 2 seconds to sign up. So, but I loved it because some of the people that said no, I think they started feeling guilty. So as she kept like saying, oh my gosh, thank you so much, I appreciate you, thank you for doing this, or, you know, I'm so excited I just welcomed another loyal customer on the It Works system, how great, like, you're going to be looking awesome for summer. People kept seeing that and they were like, oh my God, like, okay. So then they come back to Lindsay and they're like, all right, so I did look on the website and now I'm going to order. So like, her no, because she was so persistent and consistent and like never once let that even like closely get her discouraged. Other people were like, oh my God, okay, well, like, I'm going to order, because, you know, and it wasn't like she made them feel bad, but they're watching it. Yeah. So you guys, like, that's what's so important. Like, a no, like, some of her no's lasted for 3 days and that was it. Like, I mean, sometimes we tell you, oh, it will come around in 3 months or maybe 6 months. Or, I mean, I have people that sit around for 3 years and watch me, and they're like, oh, I get that you're serious now. Okay, well, I'm super happy. This is good.
I still thanked the no's though, because they responded. I said, thank you for at least responding to me. Have a great day. Like, that was it. It took me 2 seconds, and they did come around 3-4 days later.
Right. One of the other questions on here, sorry, you guys, I'm going to just kind of pick some out. But somebody asked, what did you do to expand? Oh my gosh, I'm going to pull this over. Expand your cold market to have additional people messaging you. And
I asked for the referrals pretty much in that. I even, you know, I stopped by a mutual friend of Jenny Bottolato's, actually. I reached out to him. I knew he was playing golf that day. I said, hey, can you, you know, snap a photo of you drinking the energy drink today, and he did better. He posted a video, you know, for me, and that just hit his entire network. I asked, you know, just family and friends to reshare my things. A lot of them were just doing it out of the blue. I didn't even ask them to, but I was asking them to reach out to their network, even if, you know, whether they were ordering from me or not. And a lot of them did that.
Right. So even explaining the referral program, you guys, to people is huge during that time. And, you know, especially like even people who maybe were on a budget and they could only order fat faders. When Lindsay is thanking them and then she's telling them, hey, you have this share site that's active for the next 30 days. If you have somebody, you could get a free box of wraps or this to add to whatever you just ordered. You know, and then on top of that, when they would refer somebody, then she even gave them another shout out for referring somebody to them. So like you said, just very grateful. You made it super, super positive, which pretty much made it like impossible to not watch what you were doing, and how awesome to see that it absolutely worked and you claimed it. So somebody asked about your direct wording, but you guys, we'll go put that in the team page because it's hard to like copy and paste on here and put it in that message, but we'll put it in there, her sample message. And she actually shared it as a post in Rewiring last month as she was doing it. She shared exactly what she was posting and sharing to be getting a lot of those loyal customers. So thank you, Lindsay, for being on. I'm so excited for you, and congratulations on getting presidential and $100,000 bonus.
Thank you.
And your hard work totally paid off. This was something, you guys, that I just saw one of like my really good sideline little sisters that I love. But her husband said this. So her husband, they were doing like a team meeting the other day, and he said, this business is a marathon, but in some seasons you need to be sprinting. You guys, I could not agree any more with that. If I don't even know. And so if there's ever a time that I watch my check double, triple, or whatever, quadruple, I mean, you guys, people, you're going to see crazy numbers during this time. This is your time to do that. This is your time to make those huge, 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 huge leaps, because we all know things get a little rough around the holidays, or people get a little bit more tight on money. The crazy thing is, you guys, is you can maintain that number that you just quadrupled. This is the time to be legit sprinting, like running shoes on. And that's why I said very openly with my team and on the team pages, this is not a time to allow yourself to be discouraged. And if you're going to allow yourself to be discouraged, like I will give you 1 hour, and that's being generous. And then it's time to like wrap it up, go get yourself a coffee. I'm going to show you what my desk looks like. This is a coffee. This is energy. I have a Coke over here. I don't even know. I don't even really drink Coke. But either way, I'm not going to sleep. And it may not be that I'm running for $100,000 bonus, you guys, but I have a lot of people that are. So I hope that this helped you. I can't wait to see how many more bonuses that you guys are going to be claiming over this month. And, you know, Mark said it's round 3. This is the last month that they're going to be here. So it's time to just give it 110%. So thanks for being on. And for those maybe that didn't get on, I'm not really sure. It's weird. It's saying that I had maxed out, but I don't see that all the participants could get on. I recorded it, and we'll try to flip it over to a YouTube so that you can share with other people.
$100 to the person that can get 48 customers by the end of the month.
Oh, see, now she's challenging you. All right. Bye, you guys.